Do you consider yourself to be a good person? What makes one person stand out as being a good, all-round individual, while another is labeled as a degenerate? We live in a society with laws, yet what is legal today in some instances was illegal in years gone by. Likewise, what is illegal today, such as smoking marijuana or euthanasia, depending on your geographical location, could be legalized tomorrow. Does it make sense to you that the definition of good has moving parameters? The media in Western society generally refer to this as progressiveness, and whether you realize it or not, we are standing on a sea of change. Experimental legal systems can sway one way or the other, and the only boundary in place is public opinion. History is littered with examples of dictators, corrupt governments, and military coups d'etats making up the rulebook as they go along. From Napoleonic France, to Nazi Germany, to the Russian Bolsheviks, and even further afield as far as Kim Il-sung in North Korea and the Argentine junta. Yet in an almost undetectable way to the average citizen, for almost a century, democratic governments have been shifting the goalposts and redefining morality based on public emotion, guided by the influence of Western media. Today, we often hear morality described as something that seems right to the individual, and that the judgment of right and wrong stems from the most basic of human emotions. So today's ethical approach to morality states that you are free to choose what is right and wrong, within reason. Of course, there is no set standard for what constitutes reasonable, so what direction is your moral compass pointing in today? French philosopher Joseph de Maistre famously wrote, "Every nation gets the government it deserves." And with everyone today doing what is right in their own eyes, a stable, consistent, and reliable source of law seems no longer possible. For the vast majority of mankind, we've grown up in a country based on principles and standards founded on biblical laws. It is these laws which originally defined morality. And whether you grew up in the heart of the Punjab or in Boonville, Arkansas, your country and its legal system at one point in time would have been influenced by biblical values. This law was written for our benefit, not on legal-sized paper but on tablets of stone. And they were not intended to be changed, for without them we would lose our anchor in a storm of human reasoning. Many today argue they were done away with, and yet the author of these laws lived them as an example for us. The description below includes a link to our free booklet, The Ten Commandments. This booklet is available online or in print, free of charge, and it describes the rationale behind each of the Ten Commandments, proving the relevance of these laws is just as strong now as the day they were first issued. So I ask you again, do you consider yourself to be a good person? What if you were good only half the time? Is it reasonable for you to break some but not all laws? And what kind of judgment would you expect to receive if that was your line of defense in court? Most would agree that the last 6 of the 10 Commandments should be kept. The 5th seems reasonable enough, but how often is this the case in the family home? The Sabbath day? What is that? How often do you hear God's name used purely as an exclamation mark for emphasis in day-to-day conversations? If we are not to make images of God to worship, then why do most Christian churches hang a cross or an artist's rendition of what Christ looked like for them to be repeatedly kissed, touched, or prayed to? And finally, what are your priorities in life? If there is a law and there is a judgment, then what is your conviction? I'm Jonathan Riley for Tomorrow's World Viewpoint. To subscribe to our channel, click here. To access articles, telecasts, and booklets from Tomorrow's World, visit our website, twcanada.org. The origin of life is a much debated topic, with no lack of passion for those on either side. Can mathematics help us better understand the value and probability of life? Click here to learn more about the probability of life.